Or I forgot, somewhere along the line we took a break and we were there for a weekend, I guess, or thereabouts, 2 or 3 days. When we tell about cigarettes.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, at that time, everybody got a pack of cigarettes a day. Well, I didn't smoke at that time, so I had a lot of buddies with my cigarettes, and so we went to Paris, and we would take a carton of cigarettes, and because we didn't care for the French, we'd take a carton of cigarettes and put a piece of wood on the bottom, and then five packs of cigarettes on top. We would stick them in our coat, and we got to Paris, big black market deal, and Concord Square, I guess, is where we stopped, where we parked the trucks, and these Frenchmen had come up and wanted to know if we had any cigarettes. I said, yeah. How much? And we'd arrive at a price, so I'd sneak them into their coat, take the money, because it was illegal. It was, the French were trying to catch them too. So we made out with the cigarettes, because we only gave them about half of what the carton called for. And so we were there in Paris. We saw the Arc de Triomphe and everything. Took some pictures. So, well, I didn't take many pictures. I do have one or two pictures of that. But the cameras weren't that available at that time. Hardly anybody. But I remember one thing. I saw the train station, and I've never seen anything torn up as bad as that. That train station was completely annihilated. There wasn't anything left of it. So they bombed that pretty big.
The Americans bombed it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Made some friends?
Well, yeah, a couple. We were walking down the street one day. We had my buddy and I had a couple French gals. And we were walking into this kind of a courtyard, and there was a little bar set up over there. And one of the gals there at the bar looked at us, or looked. They didn't look at me. There's some guys went by. That's the way it was. And she yelled out. She could speak English, I guess. She says, "Look out!" She yelled out. She says, "Oh, look, a red-headed nigger!" and the soldiers thought it came from us, or we said something about it. So they came over and said, "What about it?" I said, "I didn't say a damn word." I said, "The gal over there said something," but I said, "It wasn't me." So they went on, and we went on. So we had a little confrontation with one of our own troops. But we enjoyed ourselves in Paris for 2 or 3 days, and then got on trucks and went back. Yeah, we went across not in a bridge that we built, our engineers built. There wasn't any. I think there was only one. I think if I remember right, there was only one bridge across the Rhine that was still standing. But we went across to a bridge that our own engineers built. But we ended up on the Elbe River, and we was sitting along this river, and they said the war's about over, and because of the Potsdam Agreement, they were letting the Russians take Berlin. And we just sat there for 2 weeks. We said, that's fine with us. We don't care. We were happy they were taking it. And I've seen newsreels since then. I guess the Germans really raised hell with the Russians when they went into Berlin. They a lot of casualties. They wouldn't give up. So the war ended there, and so we left there. I remember the first place we went was to Hanover, and we stayed there 3 or 4 days, I guess, or a week, and just caught our breath. And then they shipped us. Then they took us by truck over to this. What did we decide the name of that town was?
Bremenhaven?
Bremenhaven. It was and why we got that detail, I don't know. But anyhow, our job was to guard a brewery. And so we went over there, and the whole town was completely leveled. There wasn't anything standing. There wasn't a building to get in out of the rain. So we had to stay out of town a ways to find a house to stay in. And we were guarding this brewery, and a couple of things happened there. One day there was a couple of gals, good-looking gals, coming by on a bicycle, and they stopped, and we started talking to them. Come to find out, they were from the same town that we caught hell in that little town where the Germans came at us pretty bad. They were from that town, and so anyhow, they got acquainted with. There was 5 guys on guard duty at one time, and they got acquainted with a couple of guys guarding the brewery. So, and then another time, the beer was 5 stories underground, and we didn't have any kegs or anything, but we had those big vats of beer down there, and we give any American outfit that came by with the barrels, we'd give them beer because we didn't have any kegs. So they'd come over and we'd pick up beer, and it started out to be pretty strong beer. I don't know exactly what percentage it was, but somebody said there was 14% beer, but I don't know if it was that strong or not. But anyhow, you drink 2 canteens cup full of that, and you were popped. It was strong. So anyhow, my buddy Caps was down there dishing out beer one time, drunk, and I was on guard at the gate, and it was the spring of the year then, and it was a nice warm day. The sun was out, and I'd had a couple of beers, and I was sitting in this chair, and I was real comfortable. I went to sleep.
On guard duty.
On guard duty. So this executive officer came by, and he just kept going. He didn't say anything to me, and I didn't even know he came by. He came by and went and drove down 5 stories underground as the road went back there. Went downstairs and found Caps drunk, and we had a sergeant who was in charge of the detail, and he was about 3rd level down with some gal, and I forget what the other guy was doing, but we were all screwing off, and this guy was going to court-martial all of us. So this sergeant said, we were all PFCs except him. He says, they're going to break me no matter what. He says, I'll take the blame. We said, no, we're all going to take the blame. We're all guilty. So he says, no, he says, I'll take the blame. And come to find out, he got busted, and that's all that happened. Because
Busted in private?
yeah, but the war was over then, and they were probably wasn't as critical a deal as it would be during the war.
Yeah.
So here come the British, and they said, we got to take over this brewery. He says, well, you gonna leave us a little the good beer? And we said, well, we might leave a little bit. So we didn't really care for. So yeah, we'll leave you a little bit. So we loaded on trucks, and I don't think we stopped, but we until we got back to went down to the Rhine River, a little town called Bacharach. And we were, like I say, in trucks, and the company commander told us, says, now you guys stay on the trucks. Well, it so happened that this little town, there wasn't any bombing or anything because wasn't anything there to bomb, but a lot of little inns, which amounted to about 8 or 10 or 15 rooms apiece. Just a quaint little place. And real nice, old. But anyhow, he said, you guys stay on the trucks, and I'll get some living quarters. So anyhow, I know we stayed in this little inn, it was a beautiful little old place. It had real nice beds and stuff like that. They changed, we were just like guests, and the operators changed the clothes, or changed the bed sheets and so forth, and really took care of us. I mean, we were there for a month. Wow. And we had our job there was we had to guard 2 castles that had a lot of stuff that the Germans had stolen from different countries, paintings and all kinds of stuff, and they stored it in these castles. We couldn't get inside, but that's what we were guarding. Evidently, there was a lot of expensive stuff in there.